brothers and sisters. I was born in Jamaica, but I'm actually Kenyan. Just to put that out there. Because why? I'm in a years as a banana. Well, I know, man. Big up the whole African crew there. From South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Malawi, Kenya.
And this is me giving them a shout out for constantly and always being supportive of Africa.
Hey Kenyans, I just want to give an Africa period, but Kenyan especially, I want to give y'all a big shout out and a thank you for the support that y'all give to dancehall music in Jamaica, man. You know what I mean? The love is just tremendous, and I guess my way of reciprocating that love is to, you know, like spread the Matatu, Matwana culture, you know what I mean? But I mean, I just fell in love with Kenyans, period. But I'm seeing that the streams from Kenya surpassed Jamaica for Vybz Kartel. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy because Jamaicans love Vybz.
The more I travel within the diaspora, the more I realize that they embrace and love Africa more than us living on the continent of Africa. Listen, when I was at her age, I never thought of learning Swahili. Mimi ni Maya. What else should I say? Even my wife is Kenyan. What an embarrassment. But Mimi ni Maya, kutoka Ghana. Can you introduce yourself in Swahili?
Habari za abazui, mimi ni Zilia, nina furaha kukutana na wewe.
How did you know that?
I studied.
You studied? Have you been to Tanzania before?
I never left Jamaica before.
You never left Jamaica? So how come you know the Swahili, man?
I just take interest in it and study.
What do you love about Africa?
I love the environment and how the children are happy.
You have never been more proud to be black. See, Jamaicans, I'm sending you peace, I'm sending you love and my prayers, and I can't wait for you to rebuild your country so that me, I will visit and come and take my Jamaican passport, because already I have the locks. It's remaining, let me put a little bit of wagwan and a little bit of bombo clat, and we are done.
What if I told you that one of Jamaica's biggest dancehall legends have somehow found himself being claimed by Kenya? Yes, you heard me right. Today we are talking about none other than Vybz Kartel, the world boss. And honestly, this story is not really about nationality. It is about something much deeper, connection. Because somehow, between Jamaica and Kenya, fans have created these beautiful conversations about where Vybz Kartel belongs and why Kenyans feel such a strong connection to him. Welcome back to Jostly Commentary, where we don't just talk about what happened, we talk about what it means. And today, we are going straight into this Jamaica-Kenya connection. Full credit to the original creators of these videos. Let's watch this and then we're going to break it down properly.
Now I see, without Jamaica, there is no Africa. Yeah, it take a conscious people to understand what me I say. I mean, no, so enough for no now go agree with it. But make you know, like and share. Without Jamaica, there is no Africa. Because you see, we in Africa, we never know for we true self, we never know who we are, we never know what we have, we never value ourselves. We don't have no identity, we don't have no respect, we don't have no recognition until Jamaica tell we that through reggae music. Jamaica highlight we in Africa. Jamaica put black people on the global map. Every first black president in Africa get inspired by Jamaican, Marcus Garvey. And through reggae music, Africa get freedom. So without Jamaica, there's no Africa. I mean, our blood clot business will only want bomb clot.
Hey Kenyans, I just want to give an Africa period, but Kenyan especially, I want to give y'all a big shout out and a thank you for the support that y'all give to dancehall music in Jamaica, man. You know what I mean? The love is just tremendous, and I guess my way of reciprocating that love is to, you know, like spread the Matatu, Matwana culture, you know what I mean? But I mean, I just fell in love with Kenyans, period. But I'm seeing that the streams from Kenya surpassed Jamaica for Vybz Kartel. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy because Jamaicans love Vybz. You see me? So to find out that Kenyans love Vybz even more, I mean, it's a bigger population, but at the same time, it's a different country, you know what I mean? And I just want to give y'all my respect. And don't forget, man, I got a little bit of music out there. Y'all show some love.
Brothers and sisters, I was born in Jamaica, but I'm actually Kenyan. Just to put that out there. Because why a man in America say banana? Well, I know, man. Big up the whole African crew there. From South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Malawi, Kenya.
I can't lie though, when I do check my numbers and I see my board, I see Kenyans on it, you know what I mean? Especially Nairobi. And I want to thank y'all, man. And keep it up, man. Yo, I appreciate y'all. Kenya.
See, just when I was about to give up on black people coming together to love each other, I now met Jamaicans. See, I have never met a set of black people more proud to be Africans or proud of their African lineage than Jamaicans. They are even more proud of Africa than Africans themselves. See, I made a video the other day talking about how Jamaicans don't take things serious and how they don't let things bring them down, just like Nigerians. I didn't even expect this video to get more than 30 views. I don't know if somebody carried my video and go and drop it in Kingston Airport. That was how all the Jamaicans come to my comments. See, love, my brother. They are saying, no, we are not like Africans. We are Africans. See, my head wants to burst. I have never been more proud to be black. See, Jamaicans, I'm sending you peace. I'm sending you love and my prayers. And I can't wait for you to rebuild your country so that me, I will visit and come and take my Jamaican passport because already I have the locks. It's remaining, let me put a little bit of wagwan and a little bit of bombo clat and we are done. And please, if you're seeing this video, please send help, send aid to Jamaicans and send your prayers as they deal with this Hurricane Melissa thing because they are wonderful people. Peace and love, my people.
Yeah, man, from Jamaica to Ghana, Africa. So you know, say Africa was born inside of me, although me born in Jamaica. I come like me becomes one early. As me reach, me becomes African. From me born, I'm one. So no need to come be one too. Rastafari. I'm following you. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out if that
Balance.
Whoa.
Well, let me see what oh, inside. Cafe in a Zion. Easy. You done? Kitchen. Cafe in a Zion. And when you turn it, Cafe in a Zion.
I'm an African Jamaican. I come to Africa and come to stay. I'm a Jamaican. I'm come to Africa from Germany from Jamaica to Germany to Ethiopia to Uganda to Jamaica to Germany, from Germany to Ethiopia, from Ethiopia to Uganda, from Uganda to Ghana. Ghana the gateway to Africa, so people can come on board and see what Africa looks like. Africa is nice. I enjoy Africa. I enjoy my time here and I have more time to enjoy. So people wake up, black people wake up and come home.
The more I travel within the diaspora, the more I realize that they embrace and love Africa more than us living on the continent of Africa. Listen, when I was at her age, I never thought of learning Swahili. Mimi ni Maya. What else should I say? Even my wife is Kenyan. What an embarrassment. Mimi ni Maya, kutoka Ghana. Can you introduce yourself in Swahili?
Habari za abazui. Mimi ni Zilia, nina furaha kukutana na wewe.
How did you know that?
I studied.
You studied? Have you been to Tanzania before?
I never left Jamaica before.
You never left Jamaica? So how come you know the Swahili, man?
I just take interest in it and study.
What do you love about Africa?
I love the environment and how the children are happy, although they don't have enough of financial balance as they make it seems. But money cannot buy happiness, and I like their joy.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I said, from once you have my skin color, you are an African. But most people in the Caribbean, if you tell a Jamaican, you are an African. No, I'm not African, I'm a Jamaican. No, you were taken from Africa. You've been a Barbados. No, I'm not I'm a Bajan. Listen, you are an African. We were all taken and scattered all across the earth. Time for you to come home, man. time for you to come Africa.
Yeah, I'm a bit late to all of this, man, but I've been seeing a lot of discourse on this whole Africans, Jamaicans and whatnot. And you know what? I don't like it. Honestly, I don't like it, because I personally feel that we've moved, so far from them dark days. However, what I can say is we can't dismiss what someone's been through. Whether African or Jamaican, we can't dismiss what someone's been through, because some people are still traumatized. That's just the truth. Some people are still living with that trauma of being called an African this or African that. Some people are still living through that trauma. Like, let me tell you a quick story. I remember this time, we was all on the bus. It was back then, early 2000s. There was this girl, she liked this boy, and then the boys come over and asked her, where you from? And the girl said, I'm from Ghana. And the boy went to her face and said, with so much disgust. And this girl used to be a loud, bossy girl, whatever. That's the first time I seen this girl get humbled. It was so dark. I think that girl got off the bus and we all went our ways, whatever. Now, could you blame that girl for coming out, let's say the next day, and saying, I'm not Ghanaian, I'm Jamaican? Do you get what I'm saying? Could you blame that girl? It was just so dark. Back then was very dark. I've been through it myself. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm getting cussed by people who look exactly like me. It's just that you're from this island and I'm from this continent. Do you get what I'm saying? But again, it's discourse that I don't even like, because I personally feel that relations have gotten better, from our parents and grandparents or whatever. Relations have definitely got better. You've got African kids and Jamaican kids having the time of their life, fun, enjoying each other's musics, foods, whatnot. You see it all over social media, you see it in real life, you see it with your kids. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm going to have a live on this. Do you get what I'm saying? I just want everyone to come in and talk, and you get me? Maybe later on. But let me know what you think in the comments.
Do you know there's something that I've picked up, right? When going through people's comments about Africa, about the development of Africa, about Africans coming together as a collective, about BRICS, etc., and how it will benefit Africa. And there is a specific group of people that consistently, if you go through the comments, are there. And this is me giving them a shout out for constantly and always being supportive of Africa. And these are the Jamaicans. Without fail, under anything positive or anything negative about Africa, you will find Jamaicans supporting Africa, standing up for Africa, and just being part of the conversation and always saying that we are one. So this is me saying thank you.
I have always wondered, what is Jamaica's relationship to Africa? Of course, I've always had an idea, however, I've never known the full history until today, which is what I'm going to talk about. In order to correctly tell this story, we have to begin before Europeans and Africans were even on the island. But yeah, Taino people were the first people to inhabit Jamaica and the Caribbeans. These people were indigenous to the land. They were skilled, peaceful farmers and Arawakan speakers. And now there's a very tiny population of them. And this is because Spain arrived and destroyed in 1494 with the infamous Christopher Columbus. If you don't know who this guy is, he was an Italian explorer sponsored by Spain, and he made a voyage and discovered the Americas, and everywhere he went, he left devastation and decimation in his path. But yeah, when he reached Jamaica, he took over with Spain, and yeah, many Taino people died from the diseases that they brought with them, violence, forced labor, and just to mention, they did bring a small number of Africans with them. It wasn't until 1655 where we begin to see the formation of the Jamaica that we know today. But yeah, in 1655, the British took Jamaica from Spain and built a plantation economy based around sugar. And they imported a very large number of enslaved Africans, especially from West and Central Africa. Key countries in order was Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Cameroon, and Congo and Angola. I didn't draw those flags, but yeah, those are the main countries that they imported Africans from. However, Africans in Jamaica did not accept slavery quietly, as many escaped into the mountains, forming maroon communities, and there was many rebellions and many resistances, forming a key part of Jamaican history and identity today. But yeah, slavery ended officially in 1834, but full freedom wasn't gained until 1838 after a harsh apprenticeship period. And even after emancipation, Black Jamaicans still suffered with, poverty, land inequalities and colonial control. Of course, this is a very rough estimate, varying drastically from person to person, but on average, Jamaicans are genetically 80.3% African, 10% European, and 5.7% East Asian. But yeah, as you can see today, of course, Caribbeans and Jamaicans have their own unique, specialized culture. But in summary, I would say, of course, they have their own culture, but a lot of it is African rooted, and that's because they've come from Africa. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching.
Why does Jamaican patois sound like West African pidgin? Because it literally comes from West African pidgin. Even though the basis for the vocabulary is English, the grammar comes directly from West Africa. That's why people that can understand Jamaican patois can understand pidgin. The other day I showed a pidgin sentence to a Jamaican and they literally read it in a Jamaican accent because they didn't even identify the differences straight away. So you know in English where the verb changes tense, so you say I went or I'm going. In patois and pidgin, the verb stays the same. So you might say me a go, midi go, or me go go, but the go stays the same. They also don't use verbs to be like is or are. So instead of saying he is big, they say im big. There's no is. Because they don't have verbs to be, they use multiple verbs without connectors. You just say im walk go buy food from the shop. Walk, go, and buy right next to each other. That also means questions that normally use words like are and is are just changed based on tone. So instead of saying are you going to eat, you just say yeah I eat, but you I eat means something completely different just because of the tone. Both patois and pidgin repeat words to mean a little or a lot, like dege dege or one, like barley barley or cry cry. In Jamaican patois, you see traces of vocabulary from Akan, Igbo, Yoruba, Ewe, Fon. The grammar in Jamaican patois was directly influenced by the slaves that used to speak pidgin with one another so that they could communicate. They also used English as a base. And then the Jamaican Maroons then brought this same grammar system to Sierra Leone, creating what we call Creole. And that's why the Sierra Leone Creole sounds a lot like Jamaican patois.
Hello everyone, my name is Atayanda, coming straight from the motherland.
Hello everybody, Yardman and I plate. Boop, 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 boop. Jamaican, Kenya in the building. Today we're going to be talking about superstitions in our country. So AT, she's going to be talking about the superstitions in South Africa. And of course your Yardman boy Kenya going to be talking about the superstitions that we have in Jamaica. So stay tuned guys, like, share and subscribe. Boom! Alright guys, so the first superstition pertains to cheating. So this is a superstition that we have in Jamaica. Say a guy is with his friends, right? And all of a sudden he sneezes. One of his friends is going to say, hey, do you need to make a phone call? And the reason is because he sneezed, the assumption is that his girlfriend is cheating on him. So that's it's a crazy superstition, but it's actually one of the superstitions that we do have in Jamaica. AT, what do you got for us?
Mine pertains to hair, like the hair off your head. So we have a superstition in South Africa specifically that you should not take your hair, if perhaps you were combing out your hair or you were blow drying your hair or snipping out your hair, you should not throw your hair in a bin or anything that is bin related or trash related. You need to flush it down the toilet. Otherwise you're going to lose your mental. You're going to become retarded and you're going to lose your mental, because in you throwing out your hair is in essence like you throwing out your mind, your mentality, and throwing it to the bin. And
so it's okay to just flush your brain? Flush your mind?
No. I mean, it's better with the water because the water has a different kind of property. But yes, you should never throw out your hair in the bin because you will go cray cray.
Cray cray. Yes. I think we have something that is slightly similar. People comment in the comment section if we do have something similar in Jamaica. We probably do, but I don't know of that superstition. Alright, so now this one pertains to ghosts. So if you're out late at night, right, and you're I don't know if it matters if you're the last person that enters the house, but if you're out very late at night and you're going into your house, once you open the door, you have to walk in backwards.
Really?
Reason being, if you walk through the door like this, the assumption is that the ghost follows you inside the house. So that's something that another superstition that we have in Jamaica. Sounds crazy, but that's something we grew up on especially if you're from the country.
Yeah, and how often do you keep up to it?
Not very often.
Superstition number 2, all the way from Africa. So mine is somewhat similar, well, in a sense, it's around the same concept. But in South Africa, we have a superstition that, well, it's not advised to be sweeping the house in the evening, but if you ever find yourself sweeping the house in the evening, whatever dirt that you gather up, you should not throw it out. You should not even open the door and toss it out, because in a sense that's seen as an exchange. So you throwing out the dirt of the house, which holds the essence of everyone who's in the house, as if you are making an exchange with whatever entities or spirits that might be outside, and it's as if you're giving them the go-ahead, like to come in, like an invitation basically. So you need to keep it up by the door or behind the door, wherever, and do that in the morning when the sun is out and the demons are sleeping.
Quite interesting. At night, after say taking a bath, because you know we're from the countryside, so we prepare a bath, like a plastic bath, and we shower with that, we bathe with that, and after you're done, it's advised that you don't throw the water outside. Okay. Because the assumption is that you're going to throw the water and hit an evil spirit.
Oh shit.
And you don't want to do that. So actually that was something I was terrified of, because I always thought if I threw the water outside, that it would just come right back into my face. Or as we say in Jamaica, Duppy would have boxed you, which means Duppy would slap you. Duppy is a term for a ghost. So yes, that's our third superstition. What's yours?
Third superstition, coming all the way from Africa again, we have something that says when there are two people standing and talking to each other and they have a bit of a space or a gap in between and you're trying to pass through, I can say it varies on which part of South Africa. Some parts of South Africa it's regarded as a respectful thing, but in other parts, if I'm not mistaken, it's regarded as a superstitious thing, being that it entails some kind of supernatural belief to it. You are not supposed to walk in between two people who are standing and talking, as if you and I were talking like this. You're not supposed to walk in between the people, because it's seen as though, number one, you are interfering in whatever connection it is that they are engaged in at the time, and it also believes that you are somewhat knotting yourself, because in walking through them, you collect the invisible strings of life that are attached to either of them, and in you walking away, you are knotting yourself. You're just carrying, or you're taking something that was never meant to be yours, or you're just tying a knot on yourself. Even with what do you call those things? The posts, the things on the wall in the road.
Light posts.
Like the boards and whatnot. You're not supposed to walk underneath the boards or between anything that's two and conjoined like so, because essentially it's believed that you're knotting yourself up, and that could be knotting your luck, so you don't be getting that shmoney, and just knotting with everything.
In Jamaica, if somebody walks between me and a person, we just say you're bright and facey. In Jamaica, if say you and I are talking about somebody, we say we happen to be talking about our lovely camera person, right, Sakuna, and all of a sudden she calls or she shows up. We then say that she's gonna live a very long life. So that's actually a superstition. Or in our dialect we would say, Sakuna gonna live long, you know. So that's actually something that a superstition that we have. Okay. So that's superstition number 4 from Jamaica. AT, what you got for us?
Superstition number 4, coming from South Africa. It's believed that you should not sweep someone's feet. Whenever you're sweeping and you happen to sweep over someone's feet, more specifically, you should not do that, because you are diminishing whatever chances of them of getting married. So you find it quite common in South Africa when someone's sweeping, either people will get out your way, or if you accidentally sweep over them, they'll be like, you know, you don't want me to get married, I want to get married, give me back. Because it's like taking away someone's essence, someone's abundance, and you're just sweeping it out. So,
that sounds pretty good. Interesting. 5 and final, right? The 5th and final. All right, so this one sounds very crazy. I think this is probably the reason why I left it for last. In Jamaica, right? If a green lizard, you know those big green lizards? If a green lizard were to fall on a jump, scary stuff, right? Every Jamaican is afraid of a green lizard. But if one were to fall on a female, the assumption would be that she's pregnant. I don't know if the lizard impregnated her.
conversation with God.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's crazy. But, you know, that's something we grew up on, like a superstition that was so popular. If a green lizard fell on a female, the assumption is that she's pregnant. What's your fifth and final? I mean, I'm pretty sure it probably is something crazy, right?
I don't know. Actually, you saying this, you've brought up two other things in regards to pregnancy, but for us, it's a whole different thing. But anyway, I'll tell you my number 5. My number 5 superstition from South Africa is that you should never jump over a child. If a child happens to be squatted down, or even if it's a grown adult, and you should never jump over someone because then you are hindering their growth. They say that they'll never grow again.
80, I don't mean to cut you. That's strange. In Jamaica, that is something that is one superstition. You know, it is actually really crazy. My camera person is very excited now that I'm displaying Jamaican-ness.
Yes.
But it's crazy that we are so connected. I mean, we are Africans from the shores of Africa. There are Jamaicans who sadly deny their African connections, which is crazy. But we're not going to speak on that. But there is obviously some amount of connection because our superstitions, though somewhat different, they're very much still similar.
Yes.
And, you know, it is so exciting to know that we just speak different languages, but we are still one, you know?
That's true.
That is really, really exciting. But guys, thank you so much for watching. It was an amazing video. Stay tuned for more. AT flew in from South Africa.
Yes.
Please, we want this one to go viral. So share, like, and subscribe. And I'm flying in from Jamaica. Bop, 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 bop.
Did you know Jamaica and South Africa share a unique bond? It's true. These two nations, oceans apart, have a fascinating connection. Picture this, reggae beats mixing with African rhythms, Bob Marley's music resonating in Soweto, or Shabba Ranks performing at Nelson Mandela's Welcome Home concert. But it goes deeper. Both countries fought against colonialism, inspiring each other's struggle for freedom. And get this, Jamaica was the first country to ban trade with apartheid South Africa in 1957. Today, they collaborate in sports, culture, and trade. From cricket matches to academic exchanges, the ties keep growing. And even beyond South Africa, Jamaica and Jamaican people have held a special place in the hearts and minds of all Africans worldwide, highlighting the unique role this little island has played in fostering African pride and solidarity among all of Africa's scattered children.
Thanks for watching. Now, let's be clear from the beginning. Vybz Kartel is widely documented as Jamaican. He was born in Adidja, Palma, and his story is deeply connected to Jamaica, particularly Kingston and Portmore. But here is where things get interesting. Across Africa, and especially among some Kenyan fans, Vybz Kartel has developed a following that goes far beyond simply listening to dancehall music. For some people, his music feels familiar. The rhythm, the language, the struggle, the confidence, the storytelling, and perhaps most importantly, the African connection. Because let's remember something, Jamaica's history is deeply connected to Africa. So when Africans embrace Jamaican culture, they are not necessarily looking at it as something completely foreign. Sometimes they are hearing something that feels strangely familiar, and that's beautiful. Think about it. Kenya has its own musical identity. Jamaica has dancehall. Kenya has gengeton, genge, afropop, and countless other sounds. But music has this incredible ability to cross borders without asking for permission. You don't need a Jamaican passport to love Jamaican music. And you certainly don't need to be born in Kingston to understand the emotion behind a Vybz Kartel song. That's the magic. A Kenyan sitting in Nairobi can hear a Jamaican artist and feel connected. A Jamaican sitting in Kingston can hear African music and feel connected. And suddenly, the ocean between Africa and the Caribbean becomes much smaller. And this is the part that I personally find beautiful. For centuries, people have tried to divide Africa and the Caribbean geographically. They say, that's Africa, that's Jamaica, That's the Caribbean. Different countries, different oceans, different accents, different histories. But culture has a funny way of reminding us we are connected. And Vybz Kartel is one of those artists whose music has traveled far beyond Jamaica. His influence has reached Africa. His name is known across the Caribbean. His music has traveled to Europe, America, and beyond. And when Kenyan fans say, in their own playful way, that's our guy too, maybe we shouldn't immediately look at that as a question of ownership. Maybe we should look at it as love. Because when somebody from another country embraces your culture that deeply, that's actually something special. But let's not take anything away from Jamaica. Because if you're talking about Vybz Kartel, you're talking about a man whose identity is fundamentally tied to Jamaican dancehall. His career helped shape modern dancehall. His lyrics, his personality, his controversies, his creativity, all of it became part of Jamaican popular culture. And even after spending 13 years in prison, his influence didn't disappear. In fact, his return in 2024 became a massive cultural moment. His murder conviction had been overturned, and Jamaica's Court of Appeal ultimately decided against a retrial. Reuters. That's how powerful the connection between this man and his audience became. He wasn't forgotten. He wasn't erased. People were still listening, still talking, still debating, still waiting. And now I want to ask you something. What if the real story isn't, is Vybz Kartel Jamaican or Kenyan? What if the real story is, why does a Jamaican artist feel so close to people thousands of kilometers away? That's the question that fascinates me, because Kenya and Jamaica may be separated by geography, but music has connected them. The African roots of Caribbean culture are undeniable, and today we are seeing the relationship go in both directions. Africa is not simply watching Jamaica anymore. Africa is embracing Jamaican culture. Jamaicans are also embracing African music, fashion, food, and culture, and that exchange is beautiful. So, Kenyan viewers, I want to hear from you. Be honest with me. When you listen to Vybz Kartel, does he feel like a foreign artist, or does his music somehow feel familiar? And to my Jamaican viewers, how do you feel when Africans, especially Kenyans, show this much love to Jamaican artists? Do you see it as cultural appreciation? Do you see it as African Caribbean unity? Or are Kenyans simply trying to steal the world boss? Because the comment section is going to be interesting. But personally, I think there is something bigger happening here. Vybz Kartel may be Jamaican, and Jamaica should absolutely be proud of that. But music doesn't stop at borders. A song can leave Kingston, across the Atlantic, reach Nairobi, and suddenly somebody thousands of kilometers away is singing the same words. That's the power of culture. That's the power of music. And perhaps that's the most beautiful thing about Jamaica's relationship with Africa. Jamaica doesn't have to become Africa, and Africa doesn't have to become Jamaica. We can simply recognize the connection. Different homes, different countries, but connected histories, connected rhythms, connected people. And maybe that's why when Kenyans hear Jamaican dancehall, something inside them says, I know this feeling. This is Josly Commentary. If you enjoy this conversation, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. And most importantly, Kenya, Jamaica, tell me what you think, because this conversation is bigger than Vybz Kartel. It's about Africa and the Caribbean finding each other again. Until next time, one love.